All right, welcome you guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let me make sure that I have my notes live while I'm here. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate all who do come by. Thank you so much for coming in. We are going to be talking the jury deliberations. A note just came in, and I'm going to explain that note to you. So, if you will, just hold on and I'll give you some background story. Understanding that note that is happening, that was a critical note. That was a very important note. How they go about responding to that note will make or break this trial. Will make or break, I'm sorry, the verdict on this trial. All right. So let's stay tuned. Let me get some things in real quick so that I can make sure that my sound isn't coming in and interrupting and all those good things. Today we are doing jury deliberations, and I'm going to go back you up just a little bit into some details from the morning that you will need because you show up here every day. You've been showing up here as we've been talking to Diddy trial so that you can draw your conclusion beyond reasonable doubt. So everything that was laid out from the judge, you definitely want to be a part of that. Bringing my, inviting my mods back in, you want to be a part of that. So what we'll do is tap the screen up. Once you guys get the screen tapped up to about 150 or so, we will get started on some critical critical information that you definitely will want to know so that you can know the behind the scenes and how the jury goes about getting to the decision of a lifetime, right? This is a critical decision that is going to be made today in a high profile case, the case of Sean P. Diddy Combs. Okay, let's get a number for you. All right, got the mods number up there. All right, so go ahead and tap the screen if you will. Tap the screen. Thank you so much for the algorithm sending it out to 42 people so far. We're almost at 2 minutes at 42 people. That's a very good look. Thank you so much for that. If you will continue to stay in while you're in the live, please make sure that you share the live if you will share the live. I highly appreciate those who will share the live, and I'm going to try to make sure that I am. Thank you for that daily heartbeat. I appreciate that. So I'm going to try to make sure mods in the room. Britt Rewind, welcome. Our mod, make sure that you guys connect and follow the mods as well. Brilliant work as we covered the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. We've gotten the room up to as high as 11,000, 12,000 people tuned in over the last 6 to 7 weeks with this conversation of the trial. So I appreciate all who do stop in to take a listen too. I do need to I did need to do something, but I didn't do that. So we're going to have to skip on past that. Let me get all my behind the scenes deliveries out of the way. All right, so that I can just have notes only pulled up. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in and for participating and for listening and making my live a part of your afternoon. If you are at work, that means even more that you take the time to do that. I'm trying to make sure that I am comfortable because I feel like I have a lot of notes that I need to go through. Um, Hold on a second. It's constant. This is a constant. That's because it's time for me to take a break, which I will be doing this week because it is vacation week, as you can tell, getting ready for vacation. For those who come by and stick by, if you will, tap that screen up to 150. If you will, mods help. If you will, tap the screen. We're on Verdict Watch. We're at 2 hours and 42 minutes of Verdict Watch. We're on 2 hours and 42 minutes, and we need to do some behind the scene conversation regarding that note that came back. Okay, so we are going to do that. Let me do something real quick. You know what it's like? Probably some probably do. If you go live and you have type 2 diabetes, please tell me. Tell me what that's like for you because it is a lot for me. So I would love to know what it's like for you guys. Sorry about the extreme lighting. Look like we got double lighting going on, and I don't have time to fix that or to adjust that. So those who know, know. Those who know. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm trusting that you guys are going to get this up. So while you do that, I have to fix that screen. Mod, if you will, put some notes in there as to how to go about participating in the live, to make sure that everyone's doing their due diligence and doing what they're supposed to do. All right, I highly appreciate that. Making sure that I have my movement in here. I'm gonna take this mirror, but may not necessarily need that today. We'll see. You guys did it. So since you did it, we need to go ahead and get started. All right. So I'm trying to make sure I'm comfortable as we do that. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. It is a lot every time I come in to do. I'm not gonna miss coverage of the Diddy trial because it's extreme. All right. I will continue to love what I do, but I will not miss the constant coverage of the trial. All right, so jury deliberations. Here's what's happening right now over the last hour, just to get you guys a little bit up to date. If I look down, for those who are new, if I look down, I'm taking a look at my notes to be as accurate as I can for you when I deliver the information that I give you guys. Like I told you today, we're going to be going over a lot. I'd let you know that on Friday. Thanks for all who came and participated on Friday. Okay. So happening now, the jury came with a note at 12:55 p.m. They are waiting for everyone to be brought into the courtroom. Every time a note comes back, they will be brought into the courtroom to make sure that everyone it's a fair trial going on and everyone's brought in on any additional thoughts or changes or information or anything like that. They will make sure that moments like that happen. Let's switch out those glasses just so I get a better read. It said they will make sure that moments like that happen. When a jury comes back with a note, they are definitely going to make sure that everyone is a part of it. So let me tell you what's inside the note. The very first interaction from the jury deliberating a verdict on the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial, the very first interaction, within minutes, a note came back. It was like, what's going on? They have a decision this quick. If they already have a decision this quick, we have to definitely worry about the fate of Sean P. Diddy Combs or not, right? Thank you so much. Um, Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the hats up. I appreciate it. It's been a lot. It's been a lot for sure. Again, delivering all this with type 2 diabetes. You guys like, oh my God. Okay. But I've been working in it. I've been staying consistent, doing my best to be here for you. Thank you for your daily heartbeats, for the taps, and for everyone that supports and shares the live. Okay, so at 1:39 p.m., here's what the notes. The note was signed by the jury foreperson. That foreperson says this: We're concerned. We are concerned. We have a jury that's not a juror that's not following instructions. So because that juror is not following instructions, we are asking that this juror is interviewed by the judge because I know you guys did this vetting process, but here we are in the middle of a deliberation of a lifetime on this high profile case, and we already have somebody to act like he don't understand 1, 2, 3 ABC. So since that's the case, we need the judge to come talk to him. They didn't say that, but they said that, right? So they said that could mean that the jury will be replaced with an alternate. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the alternates that were chosen. I have the numbers of those alternates. You want to write those numbers down because you will see those alternates as well as jurors if they decide to do so. They're free. They're not a sequestered jury. They can go talk to the public, and you will see them talk throughout the weeks after the verdict is read. Okay, at 1:45 p.m. prosecution was taking time to review similar cases because they said, well, okay, that we've, again, this is the Diddy trial, the trial of a lifetime, and things like this usually don't happen. We don't know what to do with this. So since we are unclear of, what happens when you have a jury that can't follow instructions, doesn't comprehend the instructions that were laid out, which I'm going to give those instructions to you. Tell me, do you comprehend the instructions? And then write whether or not you have some confusion. I'm going to give those instructions to you. Thank you so much for that daily heartbeat. I appreciate that for your gifts as well. Verse 5 to hit me with God of blessings for those who hit with faith, he says. So thank you for so much for that. All right. So now, let's go over what happened today. The jury received instructions from Judge Subramanian. Judge Subramanian, interned under RBG of the Supreme Court, very well trained at his job and what he does, also appointed by Joe Biden, for those who do not know. So the judge says this: here's what I need you to know about my charges. Count one, charges from 2004 to 2024, a racketeering enterprise. Count two, from 2009 to 2018, SMEX trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. Count three, from 2009 to 2018, transporting individuals, including but not limited to Cassie Ventura, for purpose of prostitution. Count four, from 2019 to 2024, trafficking of Jane. Count five, from 2019 to 2024, transporting individuals, including but not limited to Jane, for a purpose of prostitution. Each count is separate. So you had to make sure that the jury understood. Thank you for tapping that up to 1,000. Making sure that the jury understands that, right? Now, the judge says this: for attempt, those who are new, you may not understand why this goes on or why all this is happening in the background, but I have to always take care of my body first before I worry about the notes and things like that. Okay. So he says this to the jury after reading those counts out. For attempt, the U.S. must show intent, he says, a substantial step taken. More intention does not amount to an attempt. Aiding and abetting means knowingly doing some act to aid or encourage a crime to be committed. So make sure you write that down as you sit down and you go beyond reasonable doubt. Okay. Now, judge says this: Puerto Rico, the U.S. must prove that from 2004 to 2024 there was an agreement between two of the individuals for a racketeering enterprise that impacted interstate commerce. That defendant joined and committed at least two predicate acts. Okay. The judge also goes on to continue to instruct the jury on this: the U.S. must prove a mutual understanding to cooperate. You may infer his existence from the circumstances of this case. Actions may speak louder than words. He makes sure that the jury understood that. You may consider the act of all those you find to be participants. So he's making sure that you understand. Listen to the actions of. Don't just go by all the words that you were told. Pay attention to the actions of the witnesses as well. Judge says this: if you find that Combs Enterprise existed, you must find whether it continued in a substantially similar form from 2004 to 2024. The people can change as to defendant being a member, he had to know of the existence of the enterprise. So you have to tell me that. But when you decide that this person is guilty of this, that you feel that the defendant knew about the enterprise going on, and you need to prove that beyond reasonable doubt. Right? Was that proven to you beyond reasonable doubt? And then the judge says this: the United States alleges 8 predicted kidnapping, arson, bribery, witness tampering, forced labor, sex trafficking, transportation for prostitution, intent to distribute narcotics, right? He says that the US has to prove 2 of those offenses within 10 years. I'm going to also talk to you about an important part of the statute of limitation that may make Sean P. Diddy walk far away from any racketeering charges. I'm going to show that to you in just a moment. The judge says kidnapping does not occur if the victim consented. So if he feels like if you, the jury, you say that was consent. Why? Because she kept saying over and over, I want to freak off. I want to FO. I want to FO. So because she kept saying that, if you feel like that Cassie Ventura was consenting to the activities, kidnapping will not occur. Okay. Consent can be withdrawn. However, it needs to be, you really need to make sure beyond reasonable doubt that you felt like she pulled her consent back, right? Under California law, it means that the conspirators said fire or caused a fire, right? Willingly or maliciously caused a fire, right? And then the judge says this. You guys stay right there. I'm looking at verdict watch 252 time frame, okay? So the judge says this: under the California law, that means that the conspirator set fire or caused the fire. Talking about Kid Cudi, willfully or maliciously. The judge also says this: the evidence is the testimony, okay? The answers and the exhibits. Arguments are not evidence. You are the sole and exclusive arbiters of the facts right now. You, the jury, you are the sole and exclusive arbiters of the facts right now. What is it beyond reasonable doubt do you have? It's based on your common sense. After carefully weighing all of the evidence, you need to tell me with your common sense what you think happened. You can't just go in there gossiping and doing no Holly. If the drama doesn't fit, you must acquit. That's what the judge is saying, right? The judge also says you must weigh each witness, um, the credibility of the witnesses, the truth and the importance of their testimony, right? He says, size him or her up, he says about the witnesses. You must decide. Sean Combs has been formally charged in an indictment, he says. However, the judge makes it clear to the jury an indictment is not your evidence. So you are going to have to go through the evidence and you are going to have to use your common sense because an indictment doesn't mean guilty. This is a judicial process. This is the United States. A person is innocent until proven guilty in this court by your decision, right? That's kind of where he's going. So, where do you guys go? Where do you feel beyond reasonable doubt, chat? What do you feel? You guys give me some feedback. Give me some feedback while we do a type 2 diabetes water break. Give me some feedback on how you feel. Sorry, it is so hot. It is so extremely hot today. Um, Let me know what you feel. What are you guys talking about with the no cap? No cap in the chat. What are you talking about? Oh, innocent. OG says innocent, innocent. Okay, and this have you feel like they arrived at that beyond reasonable doubt? What do you guys think? Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for saying for sharing your point of view, OG. I appreciate that. All right, so he says again, you are the sole and exclusive arbiters of the facts, jury. What is the reasonable doubt? It's based on your common sense, he says, after carefully weighing all of that evidence. The judge also went on to say to the jury, you must weigh each witness' credibility, the truth, and the importance of their testimony. Size him or her up. You must decide. Sean Combs has been formally charged in this indictment. But again, an indictment is not evidence. Judge Zebermanian is saying this: if the drama doesn't fit, you must acquit. He didn't say that. I said that, but you guys probably, he wanted to say that, right? He didn't say that. Remember, he is trained under the late and great RBG, so there's no faulting, no doubt that he knows exactly what he's doing, right? Beyond reasonable doubt, we know this judge is well skilled at how to get this jury to understand the assignment. So when we got the note back just now from the jury, I don't know how we got that. I don't know how we were arriving at this type of a note because I spent the morning listening to the judge's instructions. So how did the juror come back with that? We don't know. But the foreman knows for a reason why he did that. And if you get that, you keep that juror and there's confusion of that juror, you will either have acquittal, a mistrial, a hung jury, all kind of things like that can happen, right? On the trafficking, counts 2 and 4, transport means to take or convey from one place to another. Reckless disregard satisfies that statute, okay? The deliberate closing of his eyes. You must be unanimous in that decision, however, on at least one specific instance of this trafficking. Judge also says this: RICO has a 5-year statute of limitation. Do the math. Cassie says she didn't see Sean P. Diddy Combs after 2018. You good? That was elementary level math. Did you get that? She didn't see Sean P. Diddy Combs after 2018. RICO has a 5-year statute of limitation. You must find that it continued after past 2019. If you find that the government has not proved this point beyond reasonable doubt, you must find the defendant not guilty. So bringing in your star witness Cassie, which is pretty much what you were going to land with, you then realize that you didn't have RICO because Cassie doesn't know this person past 2018. So then you brought in the sloppiness of Capricorn Clark. You brought in the sloppiness of Jane and Mia. You started getting sloppy because you started bringing in Kid Cudi. You started bringing in anybody that you could, trying to get your RICO. So you're trying to coerce and connive RICO, and that's not how you bring a person to a trial for something that serious as to life in prison, right? Now the judge says the distribution of narcotics, including the long word, he says that he didn't even say it. He just said that long word there that you see there, knowingly or intentionally. Distribution means actual transfer to deliver to another person for possession of. Physical custody is not needed. Control is enough, he says. The judge also says this: a person can withdraw consent. So then you have that, right? He says, and it may become forced labor. It becomes trafficking. We'll have the same definition as in counts 2 and 4, transportation to engage in prostitution, the same as counts 3 and 5. Now, sorry, yeah, 3 and 5. And then keep in mind, all of these witnesses that testified about volunteer willingness to participate in use of these. So he's saying here, what you get from that is these are individuals that went to get high, stayed high, loved being high. Oops, while I was there, Diddy did something I didn't like. I didn't get my way. He went with another girl. He was supposed to be with me. I didn't like it. I'm going to try to get him on RICO charges because I didn't get my way. But when I went in, I was popping them pills. When I went in, I was doing all that. I didn't mind. But then when I didn't get my way and I didn't get to keep the likes of Sean P. Diddy Combs and I didn't get the ring on my finger, you mustn't ring, all that. So since that didn't happen, now I'm going to charge him with RICO because I can, because you can do things when you have the pretty skin and the pretty face. You can do whatever you want. Charge a dude with RICO, fine. Get the ninja on RICO, right? So the judge is saying, that's kind of not how that works, right? So he needs you to be a little bit more. Keep in mind that all of these witnesses that testified about volunteer willingness to participate. All of them said they love to use. So there was no um I'm sorry, there was no coercion to do so. They willingly did so. No one told them. There was no coercing of. They were not forced to get in there and do this, right? That's something that's going to be key in dropping that case against Justin Combs as well. So because she kept saying in that claim that she willingly went to go hang out and to do drugs with Justin, right? All right, so Justin, for witness tampering, the judge, I'm sorry, for witness tampering, one violation of 18 section 1512, it does not matter if the subject of the threat is in fact fearful. Only it has to be required. A threat has to be there. It must be knowing. For forced labor, 18 section 1589 requires use of force or use of force of physical restraint, right? So he's just breaking down and making sure that the jury's crystal clear on the backstory of these charges, okay? The judge says this, jury watch. Let me go get the verdict time for you guys. Hold on a second. The judge says this, okay? Bribery of a witness under California law requires that a conspirator gave or promised to give a bribe to a person given or about to give information to law enforcement to unlawfully influence it. The judge says this, there's so many words that the jury must use common sense to arrive. He keeps giving them that common sense to arrive at beyond reasonable doubt. I need you to use your common sense to decide this, okay? I don't need you just gossiping and doing Hollywood theatrics that was presented in my courtroom today, right? And that's a very good thing for the judge to really lay out and make crystal clear as to how he feels he wants his jury to come at their decision. He doesn't want them, tapping into all that foolery and stuff that we were seeing in the trial, right? Right. So let's get back to it. Where you at, chat? What do you think? Um, I don't. What are you doing? Let me see. I don't have that information, Clay. I don't know where you got that from. Tell me where you got that information from. Okay, thanks, love. Jury doesn't think that there's a plant. I don't think they just feel like the person. They basically specifically said that the individual is not. Thank you for your daily heartbeat. The individual is not um, understanding or comprehending. Now, he also says this to the jury. Some of you are already guilty of it. The judge said this to the jury: do not read any news reports. He says to this trial, if there were to be any news reports, I need you not to read them. Please accept, again, he says, my heartfelt gratitude for your service. He says that to them. He also said to his deputies, let's have one neutral list go to the jury. I'll trust the parties to provide an appropriate laptop to the judges. I'm going to stick around for a bit, but we'll just stay here as long as needed to while they wish to deliberate, which was good that they did that because they then came with a question for the judge. What do we do about this juror? He's in there not comprehending the instructions. And then, judge, your verdict must be unanimous. If you're divided, do not report the specifics of that. Your foreperson will come forward and send me any notes, which a foreperson did at the start of deliberation. And they will also give me a note for the verdict. Any communication with the court needs to be in writing at all times from this point on. Your schedule is yours, he tells the jury. You're provided with meals. the marshal will swear you in, and then they did all that and then got the jury going. As you saw, when they got them going, about 30 minutes in, they could foreperson comes with a note and says, look, we have a jury that's not comprehending, is not understanding. Thank you so much for that, Mod. Let's get rid of that really quick, if we will. Misinformation is the worst thing that can happen when it comes to this trial. All right, so that should remove that. Hopefully, I don't know. Sometimes I really don't know how to get rid of some of these. All right, so thank you for that, Mod. I appreciate that. So, where are we at? The jury has been given the okay also to stay later than 5 p.m. So you are free. We will give you meals all day long. Go ahead and ask for your lobster and your shrimp and everything else that you want to charge the United States on this budget that we're already in debt. But if you want to go ahead and charge additional money to what has now been one of the most expensive trials in the history of the United States, if you want to go ahead and charge, because they're in the millions as to how much money they put out at this point for the expert witnesses that testified, for the flights that came about. They have a lot of money that's been spent on this trial. But if you want a lobster, let me know. We'll be providing those meals. They didn't say lobster. So anyway, they probably are giving them really good meals. So again, your verdict has to be unanimous. Your schedule is your own. You can come and go to, get your meals or whatever, and you may have to go for restroom breaks. The jury has been given the okay to stay later than 5. I said that. If a hung jury happens, know this: how will they curb all those expenses? Again, I just talked to you guys about a lot of expenses. What in the world will the jury do in regard to expenses? What are they going to do when it comes to expenses? I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. I just know it's going to be a pretty penny. That's all. It's going to be a pretty penny for sure. All right. So I also wanted to tell you guys, they have to legally well, let's talk about that in a minute. Careers are on the line. That's something that I wanted you to make sure this crystal clear is all. The jury's decision puts careers on the line from the left or the right, right? So whether it's the prosecution or the defense, careers are on the line as to what you're capable of when it comes to trying a trial like this, right? Also know this. What happens to the baby oil? All right, chat, let me know. I have the answer. What do you think happens to the baby oil? If Sean P. Diddy Combs is found not guilty, what happens to his baby oil? I want to know. I want to know. What do you guys think? I want to know what you think. 2 p.m. Wednesday, verdict reading. Stop. Oh my God. Lord Jesus. Fix it, Father God. You guys stop getting muted in here, okay? Stop getting muted in here, all right? I'm sorry about the misinformation. So, there are going to be a lot of games played. A lot of people are in their feelings. This is the reason why they're so pressed. Let me stop. He's Sean Mother effing P. Diddy Combs. He is Sean Puffy Combs. He is took over Combs. Okay. So they are pressed. He is pressure. He is the only pressure that they think exists in the black community. They feel that if they get Sean P. Diddy Combs to go down, that the rest of us are not worth anything. So that's the reason why that you keep having these fools come in everyone chat with the foolery and the information, because they need Sean P. Diddy Combs to go down. They think that if he goes down, black people ain't worth shit. Say what I said. If I get a hit on the live, it is what it is. F1 in that goddamn chat. I'm so sick of racists. All right. However, let's keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. They have to legally about the baby oil shit. Let's get back to what I was talking about because I ain't in a damn mood. I am not in the damn mood for these people on this chat today. I don't want to do it. I mean, it's just so insane the amount of racism that we have had to experience as black content creators doing the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. You don't take your ass on the Fox News and say that fucking shit. You don't take your ass on the Nancy Grace and say that fucking shit. So I don't understand why you constantly come through black creators. And I told Honey, I said, baby, on this last day of covering this trial, I got time today. They could cut this goddamn TikTok and never let me do TikTok ever again, and I won't give a damn because I'm still gonna be great. But I will not continue to deal with racism because you guys came and harassed the hell out of us. And if you think that I won't be suing your asses, TikTok, because I am sick and tired of being harassed on this goddamn app by a bunch of racists that don't like Sean P. Diddy Combs. Damn. Thank you. Stay with it, Mod, because I'm a, you know me. Last day of the trial. Bitch can say what she wants. She got a podcast. All right. So anyway, let's get back to it. Woosah. Woosah. I hope y'all screen record that shit. Send that shit to CNN, Fox News, and everywhere else. Okay, so now keep this in mind. They have to legally give him back anything that they took. Did you know that? They have to legally give him back anything that they took and seized from him if there is a not guilty or hung jury as well, right? They have to give it all back. As for Sean P. Diddy Combs, I don't see Puff wanting the baby oil back, and I don't see him going to the station like, yo, can I get my baby oil? Bruh, if he's let free, he can get his own baby oil. Stop playing with me. He is not gonna be worried about the likes of the baby oil that they know after so many years they're gonna take it and use it anyway. So thank you so much, Gary. Thank you. Somebody came and stood up for me. I appreciate you. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. Thank you. So listen, however, this is this. His attorney may want it back. Here's why his attorney may want the baby oil back. There was a part in the trial where they tried to say that the baby oil had something in it, that it was laced, so to speak. And so, because of that, his attorney may want that baby oil back, the exact baby oil in evidence, so that he can test it himself. Right. And then that'll be a bigger problem for them to look at. And really, because then it'll be like, who, like, remember who, JR, right? It'll be like who framed Diddy. That'll be a whole thing. Like if Diddy walks, trust and believe there's going to be a movie that comes out that's going to say who framed Sean P. Diddy Combs, right? So that's definitely something that the attorney may want back so that they can go and do whatever they have to do and really stand on the side of this man. His defense could do that. And again, the defense may want a copy of that baby oil because they may want to take this to the Supreme Court. They may want to go higher after the decision is made. Never know what's going to happen with that baby oil, but y'all stop worrying about it, okay? We got to let that baby oil go. All right? But it won't be Diddy. Diddy's not going to the station to ask for no baby oil. He can go get 39 more bottles and trust and believe that's a black man with some skin that he likes to keep nice and soft. I never seen Diddy with ashy skin. So because of that, he going to get that baby oil. Okay. Now we are at Verdict Watch. Here we are at 3 hours and 10 minutes. Ignore the fools that keep lying to you in the chat. There's no specific day or anything like that. It's like with any other trial. Okay. So we just sit and we wait. We sit and we wait. That's it. Like we really have nothing more than that. So you guys, what do you think they're going to come back with? So basically, no, right. Do they have it in the baby oil? They can go and test it and find out whether or not those, was it laced with something like you said? Because you landed that to get your indictment from the grand jury. I know that that was probably a critical part of why the grand jury came with it, right? So was something really in the baby oil is something that needs to be proven and probably in a whole separate situation beyond reasonable doubt, because if there was nothing in the baby oil, it begins to be who framed Sean P. Diddy Combs, right? Um, let's see. I don't really have much more. I know that one of the best reporters is in the courtroom and she's taking phenomenal notes. She says that she's going to sit there and stick it out until she gets this verdict so she can give us some, kind of back and forth and behind the scenes kind of thing so we can take a look at that. So I'm very appreciative of that. We don't really have much right now. The jury doesn't have a particular time to deliberate. That's another thing, right? So they can stay till 5, go home if they want to go home, or they can stay later. If you see the jury is still in deliberation after 5 p.m. today, this is a focused jury. This is a dedicated jury. This is a jury of 8 men that their wife said, bring your A home after Monday. Get to the decision today. Not true. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, but they definitely want to get to the 4th of July, just like the rest of us, right? So if they stay past 5 and it's 6 and 7, the jury probably is going to come back with an answer. They are going to come back with the answer because they don't have to. They can go home at 5 p.m. and then come back tomorrow to say, hey, let's just hang it up for the day. Our brains need a break. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll revisit this thing on Tuesday morning. They could do that, right? We shall see. Anybody that goes, well, Sean P. Diddy Combs, the decision about Sean P. Diddy Combs will be made by Wednesday at 2 p.m. That's just somebody that is supporting alligator Alcatraz. Don't listen to them. Anybody that's on the side of alligator Alcatraz, you don't want to listen to them about the jury. You definitely want to continue to listen to me because I'm going to give you the straight no chaser with the facts, and I ain't got time to be running around and clickbaiting and doing all this other stuff. We don't have time for that. We're trying to get to the actual decision regarding what's going to happen with Sean P. Diddy Combs. Um, what if they did right? Did they frame? Did someone frame Sean P. Diddy Combs? That's going to be a critical thing, you guys. Thank you for sharing that in the chat, Brent, and thank you, Gary, for your input. Thank you, Isis. I appreciate Isis, Isis Mama. Sorry, Isis Mama. Thank you so much. Um, we will print that out. The time that they must deliberate, I want to tell them. All right, so the jury is okay. So he just clarified that to them to make sure that the jury understands that there is no particular time. Again, you can stay after 5. We'll continue to feed you. We'll continue to bring snacks in. We'll bring your dinner in if you choose to do so. It's kind of like on the cool the judge. Like I kind of hope you could get to it today, but if not, I understand. We'll push all my other cases at extreme backlog as you guys take forever to get to a decision about Sean P. Diddy Combs, right? That's kind of where the judge is at, right? If you guys want to come back tomorrow, fine. It's your world. It's your world. You do what you want. You're the jury. You're the stars in this. Either way, a guilty will make somebody happy, a large group of people happy. A not guilty was going to make another large group of people happy. Either way, there are going to be groups of people that are going to be happy about the decision that they come back with. And that's the way that these high profile cases run. That's the way that this game goes. It doesn't change. It's never been any different, right? This is just what happens in high profile cases where a lot of people are vested, a lot of people are interested in the outcome of what's going to happen. And this is an industry huge moment. What happens in this case could make or break what's going to happen. Will this case set precedent for the Fat Joe case? We don't know. Will this case put a drop to those claims that are out there with Tony Busby? Will all those claims go away after the decision of this case, or will they increase even more so? Will they not? Will they get paid out, or will they not get paid out? Was Cassie Ventura the last one to make money regarding the Sean P. Diddy Combs allegation? Was she the last one to take the bag home? Right? And if so, she's got some enemies out there because all of those that wanted to get it, and Cassie's the only one that got it. She won in the John Tucker must go fight. And ain't no telling what they're gonna get into, but we won't be a part of that. Like no one's interested. We're only interested in Sean P. Diddy Combs, pretty much for the most part. Because if those girls were playing a game to destroy the life of a black man, they definitely have no fans from the public for sure, right? So I really, like I said, we're at a 3 hour verdict watch. I think for sure what I want you to do, the minute that they have the note in their hand, before it's read, we are going to be right here. The only way that you are going to know that is if you follow me. So you need to follow, turn on the notification, follow, turn on the notification, follow, turn on the notification. Do this now. Follow, turn on the notification. I'm going to follow you back as well. I'm an engaging bestie if you didn't know. So I'm going to come back as well. As you can see here, Entertainment Press, I am Coach D Shields. We talk about all those things that happen across current events and whatever's happening, whether I'm in the state of Texas, I cover a lot of that. I go back and forth to Colorado, I cover a lot of that. Of course, I'll take you on interesting parts or things that I find throughout my vacation. Sometimes I'll come back and give you some feedback on those things. But right now, the only thing that we're going to do is we're going to verdict watch today, right? I'm going to go work out. If that comes in the middle of my workout, I'm just gonna come to you. That's why I have the hair kind of just comfortable as I can be because if it happens and I'm working out, I'm gonna run back here sweaty and all to tell you. Probably not gonna do that for you, Probably not. I probably don't love y'all like that, but I will make sure that I get dressed as fast as I can to get inside the seat so that we can have a discussion because you stayed faithful, coming and tuning into me, listening to me, listening to the by and by of the foolishness that has happened with the people that have stopped by the chat. You've had to watch all of my emotions go across the screen as I delivered to you for 8 weeks, battling my type 2 diabetes. And I still came back every day, Monday through Friday, for you guys because I felt that I'm a follow through chick. I follow through with everything that I do. We followed through with Shador Sanders. We thought we had an answer on day one of the draft. We didn't have anything on day one of the draft. We stayed. I came back continuously going live every day until we got to draft number 144. Still has been phenomenal. Still more to cover on Shador Sanders. Still continue to pray for Prime. Looks like Prime is doing better and is headed back to the Colorado to continue on, but he's healing and taking care of himself. He listened to his body, which is something that I like to do. That's why I like to do Monday through Friday and try to keep the live between 45 minutes to an hour. We're at 40 minutes now, and I try to cut it down so I can take care of my body and listen to my doctor and my therapist before I listen to y'all because y'all just want people to sit on here forever, and people shouldn't do that because it's not healthy, especially for those who are battling type 2. I've taken off 55 pounds on this journey. And it's so important to continue and to not have any setbacks. So, a lot of self care. You've seen that implemented over the last 8 weeks, right? Getting ready to come back with a lot of good stuff. So take a look down there, Entertainment Press. You see the new logo for the press and all this different stuff that's coming. So make sure you follow in the podcast YouTube link in bio so that you can stay connected. You can also recap if you like the way I went off. I hate that I have to do stuff like that. 98% of the year, I'm the greatest and the kindest person in the world. But 2% of the year, people try me. And when they try me, I come back, I clap back. And so those clap back moments are legendary. You definitely want to click on YouTube and rewatch them over and over again. You may not want to say that straight to a racist that you work with. Press play and just show them. This is what Coach D just said to the chat. That's for you. You can do that. I don't mind. You can use it. Use it and quote me. Make t-shirts about it. I don't care. Whatever it does to make you great, I'm here for it. I'm the engaging bestie. So if you will, click the link in the bio, follow my YouTube, turn on notifications for that. We're going to have this conversation when the jury comes back. We are going to have this conversation. We are 10 minutes ago. We're not going to do this all day because that hour could go up to 22 hours. I'm telling you, it could go up to 72 hours. We have no idea how long it's going to take the jury, but we are at a 3 hour and 20-minute verdict watch. I don't see any other additional updates. The last update I see the judge, I don't want to suggest to the jury that there is any particular time that they must deliberate. I don't want to tell them that, they just got started. So however long that they feel like they need to deliberate, pretty much is what he's saying. So I agree with him. Let them people do what they do to make the decision of a lifetime that will be talked about for a lifetime. Whether guilty or not guilty, you'll talk about Sean P. Diddy Combs for a lifetime. Whether he's given, if he's not found guilty unanimously on the racketeering count one, then he won't do life in prison. Right. So then you have the lesser charges for count two and three, four, and five. Let's go over those counts one last time before we head out of the live. We're almost at the 45-minute mark. All right, so count one, charges from 2000, almost at the 45-minute mark. All right, so count one, charges from 2004 to 2024, racketeering enterprise. Count two, from 2009 to 2018, sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. Count three, from 2009 to 2018. And I'm telling you, when you look at count two and when you look at count three, there is a 5-year statute of limitation. So if it doesn't go beyond 2019, if it's not 2019 and beyond, they really can't bring that, but it's there for them to lay out, and decide what they decide, right? Count three, from 2009 to 2018, transporting individuals, including but not limited to Ventura, for the purpose of prostitution. Count four, from 2019 to 2024, sex trafficking of Jane. Count five, from 2019 to 2024, transporting individuals, including but not limited to Jane for a purpose of prostitution. All the counts are separate. So when the jury comes back with their decision, when you hear count one, it'll make or break the rest of the. Once you hear count one, if it's a guilty on count one, you don't need to know what happens with two through five. I say that simply to say because count one will give him life in prison. It could give him life in prison. Now he's Sean P. Diddy Combs. He could get a pardon. He could get a pardon from the governor. He could get a pardon from the governor of New York, right? He could get a pardon from California. They didn't try it in California, right? No. Okay, but he could get a pardon from Trump, his old good friend. The words of Donald Trump. He said that used to be my really good friend. I thought we were cool. There was a point he says when Diddy stopped liking me, but I don't know what happened there. And basically just said in so many words he apologizes, but I haven't heard from his people, he said. So since he haven't heard from the people, maybe they're waiting to see what the verdict will be. When they get the verdict, then they'll go over to the president with a professional request. Sir, can you give a pardon? And he'll make a break whether or not will he give his old friend Sean P. Diddy Combs a pardon, right? All right, so that's the kind of things that we'll be taking a look at. So I'll come back the moment of completely set up and ready to go. I will come back for you guys and we'll discuss whether or not I still am on complete verdict watch. I don't have any other updates at the 3 hour and 23-minute mark. There is no update. Don't listen to those clickbait. There are going to be a lot of people out there. They're going to clickbait you. There are going to be a lot of people that are going to lie to you. When that jury comes back with a verdict, I will know. I will get it to you ASAP. I will know it. I will come on live and we will talk immediately about the jury's decision. Today, as you see, we're not deciding one way to the next. This is now out of our hands. We've done our mock jury conversation for almost 6 or 7 weeks. We've been doing our decision and our opinion. But again, as this judge stated out to the jury, you are the sole and exclusive arbiters of the facts right now. What do you, the jury, decide beyond reasonable doubt? It's not my opinion. Doesn't matter at this point. It's out of my hands, right? It's always been out of my hands, but you know, we inputted our opinion on it, right? But it's up to the jury now. It's up to the jury now. What will they decide? Okay, so that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate all those who did. Thank you for doing that. And if I didn't get in here, thank you for those who are following. Okay, so 5 new people followed. Thank you for that. 4,544 likes. I appreciate that. 1,729. Thank you for that. Stop by. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Please follow my top 10 to 20 to 18 people in the room, if you will. Go and follow and connect with those people. Make sure you're following and turn on the notifications so that when the jury comes back, we're on verdict watch. When the jury comes back, we are going to have a conversation. We'll probably repeat some of this stuff. I'll go over those counts again. I'll go over any questions that you may have or any kind of behind the scenes talks that may have happened with the jury and send any notes that they sent and how the judge reacted in full detail to the first note that came back from the jury rather quickly when they just said, we have a juror that's not comprehending the instructions. And I just read the instructions to you. They're very crystal clear. So we will go and see how the judge responded to that. So come back. I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys. Thank you, Mod, for coming in. Thank you, Enigma. Thank you, Honey, Britt Reborn. Thank you. I appreciate that. And for all your comments and taps and daily heart meets and gifts. Know that I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that.